Welcome to
Succeed Even If. I'm Tom Marcoux.
And I'm Johanna McLeod.
This episode is Succeed Even If You Need the Power of No to End Victimization. This is a real powerful conversation. Johanna, when's the time that you felt victimized?
When I was really young, I got married at 18, and my husband would drain our bank account and buy video games instead of food, and so I went hungry.
Well, that's horrible. I'm really concerned that you had to go through that kind of suffering.
It wasn't fun.
We want to talk about the power of no. So obviously at 18 years old, you didn't feel that you had the power of no to stop this guy.
Yes.
So you did the ultimate stop. You got a divorce.
Yes, I did. One of the best choices I ever made.
I believe it. We're going to talk about the power of no to end victimization. Many people who don't feel that they can say no feel like a victim. I want to make this very clear, and we're just going to use the word do. D-O. Every letter stands for a method. The first letter, D, stands for design your yes and your no. What we discover is that there's a lot of things we want to say yes to. If you're in a romantic relationship, a committed, significant other relationship, you probably want to say yes to being a good partner.
Yes.
However, if you can't say no and protect yourself or get enough sleep or have 1 hour off so that you can recharge and renew yourself, we've got a big problem. In order to have the energy to say no, we need to know what we're saying yes to. So if you're not just saying, I'm saying yes to being a quote-unquote good partner, you could say, I'm saying yes to being a healthy good partner.
And healthy partners have boundaries.
True. Absolutely. What are those boundaries? That there's certain times where you're going to get rest. There's certain times where you're going to have time with friends. There's certain times where in a family, there's going to be certain funds devoted to certain dreams that different members of the family have. Though things can be nurturing for all family members, not just one. We design your yes and your no so that you know what you want, and therefore you will have the strength and the clarity to say, no, I can't do that. For example, there will be mothers or fathers who say that I can't be at all the events. Which are the most important events you want me to attend? There are situations when one might say, yes, I'll go for a walk with you. And then also say, right after that walk, I need an hour to myself. I need that hour to decompress, or I need that hour to exercise, or I need that hour. And when I say exercise, we said walk, but maybe this person wants to do some strength training.
Yes, we're getting old.
Time marches on. Anyway, the idea here is that if you know what you're saying yes to, you have the energy to say no. The next thing we're going to go into is O of the word do. And really, to end victimization, it is something you do. And the O is for open for cooperation. What can be tough is that people feel that if they're going to stand up for themselves, they have to say a definitive no, which then ends the whole conversation. We need to keep the dialogue going.
What happens when they don't take no for an answer?
It depends on the relationship. There may be a situation where there is someone who offers a service to the marketplace, and certain clients come in and their demands are too much. And then you just say, we don't have a match. That's when the no is clear. Someone might say, I need this done in 2 days, and you know to do a proper job you need 3 days. And you say that I can get the work done with excellence in 3 days. And the person says, well, I need it in 2. And then you say, then we don't have a match. That's saying no, but it was opening it up to cooperation. You were saying that I could get it done in 3 days, and what might happen is that the person might get somebody else to do the work, and they do it in a day and a half, and it's still garbage, and they come back to you and say, oh, you know, your 3 days sound pretty good now. You need to be able to get clear on the value you bring to a relationship, to the marketplace, and you're looking for cooperation. What I've noticed, like let's say people are trying to work out the cost of a service. And they say that this is the standard full service price. And the other person says, oh, well, I really didn't have it budgeted to go that high. Can we do something? And what I notice is that if you open for cooperation, both people can move toward each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that usually closes the negotiation, that closes the transaction into something positive, because as long as we see the other person moved, demonstrated some flexibility, and moved toward working together, that is when it's not just a solid, nope, no match, we're not going to get the chance to work together.
Mm-hmm.
The important thing that I want to talk about here is about victimization. Victimization happens when someone feels that they can't say no. And what happens is, even in a committed romantic relationship or in a family with various family members, if people can't say no, I need this time for myself. I need to go to class. Let's say it was a yoga class, and a person feels that for their balance, for their life, for their health, they need to attend yoga class 2 or 3 times a week.
I noticed that in my own life, I find that women, including myself, have a hard time saying no.
Then what we want to do is get to that cooperation part.
Mm-hmm.
Cooperation, the old phrase was that cooperation means co-operating, meaning you're operating next to each other. So the idea is that if you come together, let's say for a walk, this is like a tradition for a romantic couple that every evening they go for a walk, then they come together. So there's a yes to that. But are we going to go and immediately do this other thing? There's a no, saying after the walk, I need 1 hour to myself. That's when you are ending victimization. What's interesting about what helps us feel renewal and helps us feel somehow in balance is that it doesn't have to be massive amounts of time, but having something there daily for you, for your renewal, that makes it possible to create cooperation. This looks like a good time for a Marcoux moment. That's when I share an excerpt from one of my books. There are 48 of my books up on Amazon at the moment. The name of this book is called Soar. Nothing Can Stop You This Year. This is the 6th anniversary edition.
Oh, wow.
When it came out. And the subtitle is How to Unleash Your Hidden Power to Persuade Well, Get More Done, Gain Sudden Profits, Command Intuition, and Feel Great. This book shares a lot of material so that you can say yes to yourself. There's a lot of time management, or what I prefer to call time leverage techniques in here, so that you can be your most productive and you can keep yourself strong and you can make sure that you have renewal. On page 153, we have a section called Secrets of Being Unstoppable. And this page refers to non-judgment, non-resistance, and non-attachment. There is a quote on this page from Eckhart Tolle. Non-resistance, non-judgment, and non-attachment are the 3 aspects of true freedom and enlightened living. On page 155, I identify what I call the flow process. Focus on something bigger, laugh it off, open the possibility, and wonder. So this section of the book emphasizes that we're able to not resist something when we are able to focus on something that is bigger than, let's say, the current irritation. The section on page 158 about laugh it off is about developing opportunities for laughter. I do that every day. I see something funny, or I share laughter with friends or family every day. And here's a quote. I realize that humor isn't for everyone. It's only for people who want to have fun, enjoy life, and feel alive. So the author of that quote is Ann Wilson Schaaf. So the idea of how to develop more opportunities for laughter and how to flow along and not to resist in a reflexive way, that's valuable. On page 165, we also talk about the difference between something called judgment and the other thing called discernment. The idea of judgment is, here on page 165, I wrote, to foster the optimal mindset, I recommend substituting the word discernment for judgment. To be a discerning person implies flexibility, acceptance, and calmness. To be a judgmental person implies rigidness, defensiveness, and superiority.
Interesting.
So we'll come to a close with this excerpt from the book, Soar. Nothing Can Stop You this year, 6th anniversary edition. And now, Johanna, I'm curious, what are you going to keep from our conversation?
I really got in tune with the saying no so you can make room for yes.
Excellent. That's terrific. Exactly. So we talked about do. D was for design your yes and your no.
Mm-hmm.
And then also O was for open for cooperation. And what's important is to be able to offer some value, even if you have to say no.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's say that one just doesn't have the time to travel an hour and a half to attend a meeting, stay at the meeting for 2 hours, and travel another hour and a half to come back. You could say, look, I'd like to help you. Perhaps we could have a conversation. Maybe I can give you some coaching. We could talk for, let's say, 20 minutes before you have that meeting. Or you could talk to me about how it went, and we could have that phone conversation after the meeting. I do want to be helpful to you. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. And this is what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying no to like a 4 or 5 hour commitment,
Yes.
but you are saying yes to helping somebody for about 20 minutes on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
The idea being that you are open for cooperation. Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Tom. This broadcast is brought to you by Tom's online course at udemy.com.
Yes, I'm really excited about my online course. It's called Your Secret Charisma. More confidence and more sales. My other courses include Success Secrets, Confidence and Skills to Handle Toxic People. Another course is Darkest Secrets of Persuasion and Seduction Masters, How to Protect Yourself and Turn the Power to Good. And another course is Darkest Secrets of Film Directing.
Click to subscribe to this channel.
And then you'll be supporting Johanna, me, and our message.
Tom helps people in other ways.
As a spoken word strategist and executive coach, I help people really connect and get yes. I help them with their speeches, pitches, video marketing, and networking. And I help them prepare for that crucial life-changing meeting. As you're ready to go to the next step, see special videos, find out about my books and coaching at getthebigyes.com/next step.
And so remember,
Perform at your best with words, strategy, and rehearsal.
for your success.